Okay, guys, I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to do another one of these 20 lists for henchmen and whatnot, draw lists, whatever you want to call it. This one's going to be on captives. The last one I did was actually on scouts. The one before that was torchbearers and then porters and that type of stuff. And I talked in this scout one about sort of the thought process to how all this kind of works and the general principles for why I wanted to have more physical characters versus mental characters and wise characters and social characters in the game. Okay, guys. So as you can see, I've got everything set up here. I've gone ahead and taken off of the pay portion. If the characters are actually in a thing where they're going to get paid, then we will figure that out. Then I am not going to be adding pay to a captives chart. Not doing that. All right, so I don't need a D8 for this one. I'm going to need a D10. And the reason why I talked about this briefly in the scout video, and it may have sounded a little misleading, what I was meaning by there's other races or other things that might be more commonly taken is I would like a little bit more demi-humans in the captives list. And there's monsters. So a 1 or a 10 is going to be demi-humans, and a 9 is going to be monsters. So, goblins, orcs, those type of things. We're just doing 3d6. So I'm going to do my D6, and a D10 for my gender roll and everything. Actually, I'm going to be doing it this way. So this will be my gender, and then these will be my stats. And we're going to do 3d6 straight across the board. All right, so it's going to be a male number 7. 7 is going to be an islander like it normally is. Helps if I'm in the right thing. Well, that's not what I want to do. All right, so we have a 10. We have an 11. We have a 12. Yeah, 13 here? No, we have a 12. No, we have an 11, excuse me. We get a 10 here. All right, we got this little ratio we're doing here. No, we got 13. What are we doing? Got 10. All right. Again, I feel like I can front load this first dice roll. Okay, so we got a 3 for male. Male 3 is going to be an A-type human. Oh, just in case anyone is wanting to know what an A-type and N-type human is, A is for ancient. They're the more elder race of humans. Doesn't make them necessarily better. Just means that they come from an older area. And N is for nomadic. Just so everyone's clear what that is. Well, this should be fairly quick, actually. Looks like it. That was going to be a 9. Ooh. Do I keep the way the dice rolls if they're bounced off, or do I keep it as it would? Okay. High, I keep it as a 9. Low, I keep it as what it ended up. Okay. So we are keeping it what it ended up. The only reason I say that is 9 is monster, so... Okay, this is going to be another A-type human. This is going to be female. This is going to be a 12. This is going to be a 10. It's going to be a 9. It's going to be a 10. So in my BX game that I play every Wednesday, which I've been playing for many years now, several years, they went and did B2, and one of the characters they rolled was 19, I think, on the B2 module, which ends up being a dwarf with a very high strength. We named this dwarf Rusk Grat. And it was and is a popular, still alive, character with the group, mostly because of the incredible strength he has. An 18 strength, which in any edition of the game is nice. I'm hoping we get some stuff like that in here too. Maybe not strength, but some 18s would be nice here and there. I kind of have a dream. Paladins are possible. If I were to have a character role that had the stats to be able to be a paladin, and then they went through that journey of being a paladin later after being saved, I can't think of a better thing. So we have a demi-human male. Let's roll this. Actually, it's still a D8 roll for that. 3. So that's going to be halfling if I'm not mistaken. Yes. All right, so we have a 13. It's an 11. We have an 8. We have a 12. So yeah, I think that'd be a great rag to riches story that would do well. And it's, well, here's our 17. So halflings unfortunately cannot be paladins. So maybe next time. The next 17 maybe. Good stats there, by the way. So we have a female, number 8, which I don't know why I was having a problem with that one. That is my desert humans. One I've actually rolled quite a few of. This here is going to be a 16. We have a 7. We have a 9. We have a 9. Ooh, I thought it was going to be a 2. It turned out to be a 14 though in the end because it was a 6. Oh, here's my next 17. Do we have a female? Oh, look at that. Decent con too. I don't know off the top of my head if paladins in this edition of the game. What in the heck? There we go. I don't know if you have to have a certain wisdom score in this version of the game. I know in like other editions they lower the expectations and raise the other expectations, and having a wisdom modifier is important. I've never played a paladin in original Dungeons & Dragons, so this is going to be a female A-type, and then we're going to have a 12. I have an 8. So far, I see a lot of good torchbearers and whatnot that can come from this list, and a potential for a paladin. Their con's too high to be a PC. My PCs have real terrible cons. It's almost a meme at this point. The highest constitution of the player characters was a 7. Another A-type human. For being a little random, it's not very random today. Ooh. Like that. Not terrible, I guess. Interesting. Like that. That's not bad. I like all of that. I mean, that's a worthy character right there. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily be a melee fighter, but it's a worthy character. All right, so we have 6, which is black, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So you have a female. Some might ask why I have 5 different types of humans. The reasoning for that is a personal one. Not everyone in my family is white, and I feel like it is a great thing to have their culture being represented when they play, if they play. And of course, I make games that I'd want to play or if they want to play. So I hope that if they ever played, there would be someone representing their culture, their heritage. And that's really all it is. It has nothing to do with politics or anything like that. It's just, my family is not all white, so that's my thoughts. All right. We have there. This is a male. This one is a, nope, this is a 10. I do mob. Not really. Oh, whew, pulled out that 10. I got that 7. Got that 12. And what type of character are you? One that carries a torch. Yep. Great torchbearer. No, I'm kidding. Actually, there's a great number of things this character could be. But being something like a torchbearer, while a joke is partially true, I guess. They also could just be a craftsman, the guy that goes works at the blacksmith or whatever, you know. There's a dozen things this character could be doing with those stats. It's just not adventure, probably. Those are perfectly normal stats, in a matter of speaking. This one's got averagely high, but still normal. Nothing abnormal about those stats, I should say. Ooh, we have a demi-human male. Roll a d8 to see which one. 3, that's going to be a halfling. Yep. And then we have a 11. We have an 8. We have a 9. We have a 12. We have a 10. We have a 12. We have a female A-type. We have a 16. Very nice. 6. Character. Low stats are oftentimes just character. Especially when you have low stats next to high stats. If you just have low stats and blah, then you have an NPC. Decent con. Yeah, I mean, that could be something. I have player characters with multiple low stats like that. All right, so we have a male, we have a monster race. So I'm going to roll this d10 again. It's going to be a 9. A 9 on the monster race is a bugbear. Bugbear, I'm going to give +1 strength. Ogres, I'm going to give +2 strength, potentially. Capping at a 19, though. So this would be a 7, 8 strength. He's not very strong. We have a 4, so not very agile. We have the smartest bugbear ever. We have the bugbear king, apparently. Or the reject, that they don't accept as king because he's too smart and too weak to lead. That could be an interest. Like I said, low stats next to high stats are interesting. Maybe he's being held captive by bugbear. That would be ironic. All right, we have a female, excuse me. They're black. We have an 11. We have a 10. We have an 11. We have a 14. Decent stats, not terrible. I mean, 10's the low, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's just not a very memorable character, to be honest. Probably. What makes it memorable has to be something different. So it's going to be a male demi-human. Eight. That's going to be a mountain dwarf. Okay. And then we have an 11. And we have a 9. There we go. We got a 15. Dwarves can't be magic used in this game, unfortunately. But that's not the end of the world. Pathetically weak con for what I would consider a dwarf, but, you know, appropriate charisma. So we have a 5. That is an N type. We have a male N type. And that'd be an 8. If you remember, the N types were nomadic. So that's what that is again. We got 12. We have a 6. 10. We have a 13. Ooh, interesting. We have an 18 charisma. See, something like that makes me think noble. Not necessarily a good noble either. Okay, we have a demi-human, female. 3 is going to be halfling. Oh yeah, that's not the word. Then we have an 11. We have a 7. We have a 9. Wow. Okay. We have a 10. We have a 9. I could see something like that actually being more of like a cursed creature being drained. There's some obvious references one could pull from that. I'm not going to do that, but it is something like that would be interesting, I think. I'd have to justify it somehow in the long run, though. Like maybe it was a curse or whatever that could not be ever healed or fixed. It just was, you know. I don't know. Oh, we have a very wise captive. Okay, let's get me a decent con so we can make a nice cleric out of this. There we go. Got ourselves a nice con. Decent charisma, maybe. Ooh, that's not bad. I mean, it's not a modifier, but it's not low. It's an interesting character. That negative on the dex, though, hurts. Alright, so we have a male 7, which is Islander, if I'm right. Yes. And then we have a nice 16 strength. This is my last one. About didn't notice that. About the 21st one just for free. We about got bonus content. Out of all those characters, I only got one bug. One man. That's unfortunate. Almost makes me want to roll a d12 and make, 3 of those spots monster races. Okay, so we have 7, 12. We have a 12. We have a 6 and 5 is 11. And we have an 11. Okay, guys, so I've gone ahead and made 20 more characters. They're all going to be captives. I don't know how often these are going to go. I'm going to have sort of like... I'm going to have captives kind of get rolled through. Not probably as much as I would like a porter. Characters that really don't fit the role. There are some in here, like the 18 wisdom. I could see that being utilized in other ways, or maybe them being able to convince them to let them leave. Same thing with that 18 charisma or the high charisma. Those are the ones that are probably going to be able to get out of this. The ones with lower stats, they're probably going to be a captive until they're released. And we'll just kind of go from there. So I think every now and then I'll pull out some of the super high stats and I'll probably roll again. And then we'll come up with a story for maybe how they got free. Like an 18 strength, for example. Maybe they misunderstood their strength and allowed them to break the restraints and they fled. Maybe they left with certain other ones and then that created a rebellion, or that created a group that got away together. Maybe the party could run into that group while they're in the middle of fleeing. I don't know. We're going to look into that, and maybe I'll drop some scenarios and throw them on the encounter chart as a possibility. And then when they are rolled, instead of having it be like this month, that month, whatever, or that quarter, this quarter, it would be when the party rolls this thing. That is the day they broke free and they tried to escape. I think that would be something very cool. So I will do something like that, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, so the next one, I'm going to go ahead and apply some names just like I did in the other videos, and then we'll go ahead and do the next group, and we'll add filler roles as we need filler roles. For right now, though, I think we got plenty. This gives us 80 different NPCs rolled. I think that's a great start. All right, guys, see you guys in the next video, or next segment.